Scorpio or Pisces, where afterwards they're like, oh, maybe that was too much. Or like, you know, for Pisces, they go and they hibernate, you know, because it felt like a lot, all of it coming out. And like Scorpio gets that like, ugh, why did I overshare like that? Whereas Cancer, they actually enjoy doing that. And I think Cancers know the effect they have on people when they're bold with their emotions like that. I know you Cancers know. What's good, you guys? Are y'all ready for this zodiac list? This one's a little intense, okay? It's all about power and control. So we're really gonna get into the nitty-gritty of people's intentions in life. And even if you are someone that says, oh, I don't need power, I don't need control, I think as humans, it's natural to act out when we feel like we don't have power and control. And it's interesting to see how people react to a lack of power and control. And that's what we're gonna get into today. We're gonna go through each category. There's 5 categories and your sign will be listed under one of them. And I will post the list right over here. So take a good look at it. And we're just gonna go through it all. All right, let's do it. Okay, so the first category that we have is power to do whatever they want. Sagittarius, Aquarius. Yes. Yes. Honestly, I feel like with both Sag and Aquarius, to them, it's not all about like, I need power to like, you know, put my authority, like let you know that I'm the person of authority over here. For both of these signs, they need freedom so badly because it's in their true essence. Like Jupiter wants to expand and Uranus wants to do things out of the ordinary. They want to do things that other people aren't doing. They need freedom, right? For different reasons. And I feel like when they feel like someone is using their power to make them do what they want to do or make them live a traditional lifestyle or have a traditional job, Sagittarius and Aquarius, that is when they're the most irritated because more than anything, they just want freedom. They want freedom to explore. They want freedom to be different. They want freedom to, again, do things that are out of the box, out of the ordinary. Sagittarius doesn't want to stay somewhere for too long. All of these things, it takes away from who they are, you know, at their core, which is why they want that power. Like more than anything, they're not gonna be the types of people that are going around like, I wanna have power so I can tell people what to do. Like, no, I want power over myself and my life so I can do what I want to do and no one is there telling me or pushing me that this is how I should be doing things. And also, they're not the types of people that get like a high from having authority over other people. Granted, I would say both Sagittarius and Aquarius have this like God complex when it comes to their ideas, but they're not the types that are like sitting there like, well, why aren't you doing it this way? And why aren't you doing it that way? You know what I mean? Like if anything, they'll talk shit about it, but they're not like super power hungry to the point that they're irritated because someone else is in control in the room as opposed to some other signs. Do you see what I mean? So that's why I feel like with both Sag and Aquarius, at the end of the day, all they really want to do is function in a way that allows them to make their own decisions, right? No matter how different those decisions are compared to other people. And as long as they have that power, they're good. They don't need any other type of power. They just want to be able to live life by their own set of rules. And usually those rules aren't what other people are following. And for Sagittarius and Aquarius, they don't give a fuck. Sagittarius just wants to be out in the world, having fun, experiencing new things. And if someone's, you know, trying to control that and trying to control their experiences and their ability to be free, that is when they feel like they have lost control and lost power. That is when they're operating at their lowest vibration because now they're acting out. They're acting out so badly that the person that is, you know, that has power over them is kind of looking at them like, maybe I should just let you go because you're acting out. And that is exactly what Sagittarius wants. Like that is how Sagittarius operates in relationships when they are ready to say bye, but they are not doing the breaking up. Like they'll just act out even more just so they could show you that you have no power over me. I am free. You see what I'm saying? And then same thing with Aquarius. Aquarius hates being tied down, and also Aquarius hates being categorized into anything. They want to be their own category because at the end of the day, again, they want to do what they want to do. They don't need a group of people to agree with them, which is one of Aquarius's superpowers, is that they are the lone soldier, and like they can be the loner, but they don't look at being the loner as a bad thing. Maybe when you were younger, Aquarius, you used to think of being a loner as a bad thing and you felt isolated and you felt like you were different. But I feel like when Aquariuses come to their true power, they realize that like, oh yeah, I can get all this shit done by myself. I actually do well by myself, even though they're ruled by the 11th house of community and they can really bring people together. At the end of the day, Aquarius does amazing on their own. That is when their best thoughts and epiphanies come to life, is when they're alone. If anyone has power to tell them what to do, that's when they will lash out, and that is when they'll isolate even more because they feel like they're being controlled. Okay, next category, we have power as in being powerful. And that is Aries and Leo, and that makes a lot of sense. I feel like both of these are two powerhouse fire signs, and when you look at Aries, you think of the first sign of the zodiac, the first fire sign, the initiator. Any of the cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, they're the initiators, right? They're the ones that get that spark going. So I feel like with Aries, because of their courage and their ability to get anything started on their own, that is when they're seen as really powerful. Same with Leo. Leo again has that courage. When I think of some of the most courageous signs, it's Aries and Leo. They don't need anyone else to back them up, and like there's just something about their essence when they walk into a room. I feel like when an Aries and Leo, they do it so confidently. Aries does it in a way where you're kind of scared, you're intimidated by their power, because when they walk in, you're just like, holy shit, like I feel your energy, I feel that you're ready, I feel that you don't need anyone, I feel like that you're outspoken. And with Leo, on the other hand, you feel that energy, but another thing that you feel with Leo is that they walk into a room and they're very charismatic, they're very warm and bubbly. So although they have that like courageous, like, you know, I'm a lion, hear me roar, king of the jungle kind of energy, they also have that charm and their ability to connect with anyone. So that in return makes them powerful too, because they're confident and friendly. Whereas Aries is confident and a little unfriendly. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying Aries people are unfriendly. I'm saying when they're in their power, standing in their power, showing up in a way where they want something, or that they're going after something, an interview, a job, or you know what I mean? Even in a room where they don't know anyone, the energy they bring is like, huh, like I'm powerful. I'm not scared of nobody. I'm the warrior. You know what I mean? And Leo, on the other hand, is very much like, I am born to stand out. I love being in the spotlight. Of course I'm powerful. You know what I mean? You think of these two signs, you think of them as the types of people that bet on themselves, and they're the types of people that also push their friends often because they have that much power. You know what I mean? Like fixed fire with Leo, that fire does not go out. It just keeps going and going and going. And if you're lucky enough and they love you, they share some of that warmth with you, and now you're glowing and you're warm and you're getting all the things that you want in life because a Leo believes in you. Same thing with Aries. When Aries and Leo believe in you, you have people around you that are gonna back you up forever. You know, as long as they love you, they are on your side, and they're pushing you and they're pushing you, and they just see the light at the end of the tunnel for you. And they're not gonna let you just sit on your ass. You know what I mean? They're gonna make you do all the things that you need to do to feel good about yourself. That is what I appreciate the most about Aries and Leo, and that comes with power. You know what I mean? When you're confident like that, you see what other people are also capable of when they're confident. So that is why they push you, and that's why I see them as two of the most powerful signs in the zodiac. Okay, next we have control over people. This one's a little, it's like nobody wants to hear that they have control over people, you know what I mean? The people in this list are Gemini, Cancer, and Pisces. And I was like, wow, like I really had to sit here and think about this, because I'm like, why did they put these here? It makes sense. When I thought about it, it makes sense. For Gemini, for example, right? Gemini's ability to use their words and be persuasive and be the trickster, it can really control people. Like they're such, again, socialites in a way, because they know everyone's business, they know the tea, they know what's going on. they're in the know, you know what I mean? And when you're in the know, you have the power to really control people's behaviors, because you know what so-and-so said about so-and-so, and you'll let them know. You'll know that you heard this on the news, and you'll let them know. You're always sharing so much information that has the potential to change people's minds, you know? That's the thing with Gemini, is that they truly have so much information, and they're taking in information at such a high rate, such a high speed, and they're also releasing that information in such a fast way whenever they're interacting with anybody. And when you are someone who talks a lot, again, you are essentially a source of information for a lot of people. And when people listen to you talk, something about what you said is going to affect them. You know what I mean? People who give the silent treatment, or quiet people, don't have that much influence, you know? Because how can you influence someone when you're not even talking, you know? But Gemini, on the other hand, is always talking, always sharing what they're learning. And because of that, they can have control over people. Also, another thing with Gemini is people see how good Gemini is with people, right? Like, they see how easily they get along with so many different people, how social they are, how that social battery doesn't, you know, get low at all. And when people notice that, I feel like that also has some sort of control over people, because they see and view Gemini as this person that is on the end with society, with groups of people. They want to be friends with Gemini. I don't think like there is people out there that see a Gemini doing their thing and is like, oh, I don't like that kind of person. You know what I mean? Like, maybe if you want a little more depth, or I don't know, not everyone loves Gemini energy, but I do feel like when you see Gemini doing their thing, you can't help but be in awe of it. And you want to learn, how did they do that? How are they so good at that? And that makes them very good at maybe controlling people. Now, on the other hand, we have Cancer and Pisces. And I thought it's interesting, yeah, because these two water signs, they do have the potential of controlling people with their emotions. You know what I mean? But you don't see it coming. You don't, because they do it so gently. Well, maybe not so gently, but I feel like to them, they think they're doing it gently because they're just telling you how they feel. Like, I'm sorry if you can't handle all the emotions coming your way, but I'm letting you know that this is how I feel. Like for Cancer, because of how easily they're able to express their feelings, I think it catches people off guard, right? Like Cancer in general, they do have that like word vomit of like, this is how I feel, and I, again, will not be shamed for it. I said this before. Cancer shares all their feelings, and they're not like Scorpio or Pisces, where afterwards they're like, ooh, maybe that was too much. Or like, you know, for Pisces, they go and they hibernate, you know, because it felt like a lot, all of it coming out. And like Scorpio gets that like, ugh, why did I overshare like that? Whereas Cancer, they actually enjoy doing that. And I think Cancers know the effect they have on people when they're bold with their emotions like that. I know you Cancers know, because people aren't used to people who wear their heart on their sleeve, right? And I think when you wear your heart on your sleeve, people have big reactions to that. And that may be why you are on the control over people list, because your emotions are so easily expressed. And because of that, people can't help but listen to you. And, you know, we know Cancers cry, you know, like we all do, but Cancers are known to be the crybabies. When you're a crybaby, you tend to have some control over people, because everyone's going to be checking on you. Everyone's going to make sure you're okay. And at the end of the day, if people don't check on you, now you're going to create this like whole narrative of like, you know, no one cares about me. Okay, now we're getting to the Pisces part of it. Pisces, I feel like, is on this category because of maybe the fact that they are known to be the victim, like forever victims when it comes to situations. That's what I'm thinking, because at the end of the day, Pisces is viewed as someone that is soft, someone that is sensitive, someone that doesn't always like to admit when they're in the wrong. I think Pisceans are just really good at playing the victim. We know this isn't a hot take. And because they're good at doing that, you can't help but feel sorry for Pisces at all times. And that can be controlling. You know, that's like that reverse psychology shit where you are playing the victim, right? And now because of the fact that people are like, oh, maybe you are the victim, anything that you did prior to that is kind of pushed under the rug, and it's like, you know what? Well, because Pisces, who is usually soft and sensitive, is saying that they didn't do it, then they didn't do it. You know what I mean? Because you're not ever doing things in an aggressive way, and you're really good at playing it off as like, you know, I was just in my feelings, I was just in my head, I wasn't thinking, you know, you're kind of scatterbrained in that sense, Pisces, when it comes to expressing yourself. And a lot of people give you grace because of that, you know? And I mean, I know I do too, because I understand that you guys are super sensitive, and I understand that it's harder for you to express your emotions because you're like tapping in and out of that, like, you know, subconscious dream state back to reality. You guys are usually in fantasy land. And I feel like when you are back to being in reality, and reality is a little harsh for you, you're really good at playing the victim and saying that, like, you know what, this is too hard for me, or this is why I didn't do it like that, blah, 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 right? Another reason why I feel like Pisces would be in this category is because they're really good at creating a fantasy. You know what I mean? You know, I like to be online and I like to read about people's experiences. I'm on Astro Twitter, and people talk about like, oh my God, like my Pisces exes, like they were so manipulative and they like love bomb me, blah, 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 blah. Like, not to say that's the only sign that does that, everyone does. But I think the overall narrative is that Piscean energy at its lowest vibration is someone that is painting you a false picture. You know what I mean? Again, that Neptunian fantasy world of like, this is our love and this is how it's gonna be, and like, of course I love you. And it's really easy for them to just like fall in like, you know what I mean? And assume it's love. Like, they get infatuated very easily because they start having these, you know, these ideas of what it could be, and they get lost in that. And when they get lost in that, they're really good at selling you that false reality in that fantasy land. And then when, you know, that bubble pops, Pisces, because they're so used to it, they're just like, oh, on to the next one. You know what I mean? Like, I'll build another dreamland. But to the other person, they're like, what do you mean? Like, you told me it was gonna be like this, and we were gonna do this, and you've never felt this way with anyone before. And Pisces is like, no, like, it just doesn't feel like what I thought it would feel like. So like, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? And then the person that is experiencing this breakup or this, you know, shattering of this fantasy world, they're very confused, and they will feel like they were played with and controlled. But like, to Pisces, they're like, no, like, didn't you have fun for those 2 months? Like, I enjoyed my time with you. And the other person's like, I didn't know it was just like a 2-month fling. Like, I thought like we were like deeply in love, you know? So maybe that might have something to do with it. Okay, next we have control over situations. Okay, here we have Taurus, Virgo, Libra. You know, I thought that Libra would have been good at control over people, but then I really try to put myself into the person that made this list's shoes, and I understand why they're in control over situations, and here's why. So for Libra, I genuinely feel like Libra and Virgo, these are two perfectionists, right? They enjoy doing things when they know what's happening. Although for Libra, because they're so social, they can really be flexible and fit into any situation and make it work. But they have this idea of what it's supposed to look like. Same with Virgo and same with Taurus. These are signs that enjoy knowing what they're getting themselves into. And I think because Libra is the air sign, a lot of times we assume that like Libra is okay no matter what, which is true. Libra is okay no matter what. That doesn't mean that they don't have that anxiety. It's funny, like Libra is so good at being social, but underneath it all, they are overanalyzing and taking it a lot during every social interaction because they want to make sure that they're connecting with every single person, right? And Taurus, for example, Taurus is so stubborn and they love their routine so much that in their mind, they think unless I control every single situation, I'm in danger. Like they truly think that. They think that their safety is compromised, which is why they love being at home. They're homebodies, you know, same with Virgo. Virgo loves being at home too because again, they can control it. Their home is everything to them. It's their safety net. And for example, for Taurus, I feel like a lot of times they hold themselves back because they don't know how a situation is gonna go. You know what I mean? How an event is gonna go, how a dinner is gonna go, how a new restaurant is gonna go. That's why they stick with what they know, because they desperately need that control over a situation in order to feel like life is okay and life is right. Like, it's crazy thinking about like Sagittarius or Aquarius, right? And how much they need that freedom and how much they need things to change and for things to be different. Now we have, you know what I mean, Taurus and Virgo, like these two signs that desperately need their routine to stay what it is in order to feel safe, in order for their nervous system to feel okay. You know what I mean? Like, to them, control is freedom. You know what I mean? To them, control is their freedom. They need control in order to feel like everything is okay in life. And Virgo in general, like Virgo is known to be very anxious, and they have this desire to make sure that their everyday life is controlled. You know what I mean? That their routine is what it is. And when someone changes things last minute for Virgo, it makes them so anxious, because again, they've run through all the facts. They've run through every single, you know, place that you're going. Let's say you're on a, you know, travel day. Virgo has already researched the 3 things that you're doing. They already looked at the menu of the restaurant. They know what they're getting. Last minute, if you were to tell Virgo, hey, actually we're going here, we couldn't get reservations at the other place. Now they don't have control over the situation because it's too late. They haven't looked at the restaurant. They don't know what they're getting. Like they stress themselves out and they don't give themselves enough credit. That's the thing. I would say that about Taurus and Virgo. Like, you don't give yourself enough credit. Like, you can handle something different. You really can. And granted, yes, it is a risk. It's a risk to try something new, to not have control over a situation, and for something to go wrong. But that's life. And maybe you were just meant to learn something from this situation. You know what I mean? So I think you guys don't give yourselves enough credit when it comes to landing back on your feet when something goes a different way than it usually does, or when you're in a situation that you cannot control, which is why they, you know, usually stick with the people they know and the situations they know, because then there's no one there to change it. You know what I mean? If someone new comes along, they have the ability to change your life, right, in any way, and they don't like that. Like, you know, for the most part, no new friends. Now we have Libra on the other hand, who loves new friends, but because they're so socially intelligent, they know what they're doing. Like, for Libra, they're playing, even if they're not like actively sitting there doing this, effortlessly, naturally, Libra is playing a social game of chess. And like, as they're socializing, as they're talking to people, their brain naturally categorizes people into who they are. And like, next time when I might need this, this is the person I should call. Like, this is why they're so good at connecting with everyone. When Libra talks to people, they find a commonality and they stick with it. You know what I mean? They don't feel the need to stand out, and that is their way of controlling the situation. That is their way of controlling being liked by people, is by finding a commonality and sticking to it and really making other people know that, like, hey, you and me, we agree on this thing. And because we agree on this thing, we're friends and we can trust each other. And by doing that, they're controlling the situation. They're making sure that by the time they leave, you like them and that you would want to be on their, you know, good side, and that you would want to invite them to your next gathering. Like, they're just really good at making an impression like that, and that is how they control situations. Finally, we have all of the above, which is Scorpio and Capricorn, and I can't even lie and say that that is not true, because it is true. Like, when you think of the 2 most powerful signs in the zodiac, in terms of not just like power, like walking into a room kind of power, like power, determination, like inward power, I think of Scorpio and Capricorn. These are 2 signs that do not give people the benefit of the doubt ever, like ever. It is something that I have been trying to work on forever, is to accept help and know that other people can provide things for me. You know what I mean? Like, just because I can do it myself doesn't mean I should do it myself. It's so hard for Scorpio and Capricorn to let go of any sort of power or control. Also, if you think about it, it makes sense, because Scorpio and Capricorn are the signs that are the least likely to trust you. They have big trust issues, Scorpio and Capricorn. And because of that is why they desperately hold on to power and control, because they have been burned before and they have experienced from childhood, might I say, people that have let them down, situations where they felt powerless, and they know what it felt like to be young and to experience things not going your way and for bad things to happen to you, and you had no control to fix it and no control or power to make yourself feel better. So as they get older, both of these signs, Scorpio and Capricorn, they understand the value of power and control, and depending on their healing journey, you know what I mean? Either they heal that part of themselves and understand that desperately holding on to control and power is toxic, or for the rest of their life, they will abuse the power that they gain and the control that they gain, and it will come back to bite them in the ass. You know what I mean? Like, there is no possible way for you to have all the power in every room you walk into, all the control in every room or situation you walk into. And even just talking about control over people, you can't control people. You know what I mean? You can try and you can be manipulative, but at the end of the day, at some point, the universe, those people, whatever, is going to balance out the playing field. All you have control over is yourself. And I feel like when Scorpio and Capricorn understand that, you actually have a lighter, I don't know, aura about you. I don't know about you guys, but when you figure out that, like, I really don't have that control, you know what I mean? It makes you move better in the world because you are trusting the universe. You are letting the universe know that, like, you know what? I know I don't have all the control or power here, but I'm trusting you enough to get me what I want. I trust you enough to know that you're not going to put me in dangerous situations. I trust you enough to just let go of this need for control, because at some point it gets toxic. But on the other end of it, like, for example, for Scorpio, this power is what gets Scorpio everything they want in life. This power is what makes Scorpio transform themselves and help others transform themselves and get in touch with their true power. One of my favorite things about Scorpios is their ability to obviously be the phoenix and rise from the ashes, but help other people, be the catalyst for other people to be that as well. Because when you go through being powerless, you grow up thinking that, like, you need to be on the other end of the spectrum and you need to desperately seek power and hold on to it. But when Scorpio heals themselves, they realize, no, I can trust people. And because I can trust people, I can also help other people trust themselves, because that's when the magic happens in the world and in your life, is when you finally start trusting yourself and you don't second guess yourself. And same thing with Capricorn. Capricorn is someone, it's the kind of energy that everyone wants to embody in their life. You know what I mean? Someone that puts themselves out there, goes after what they want, doesn't get distracted, has self-discipline. All this is very powerful energy. You know what I mean? But a lot of times I feel like Capricorn can hold themselves back because they don't trust people, and because of that, they use it as a control tactic to get what they want. Because they don't give you enough, you know? When someone doesn't give you enough and they don't open up to you and they're kind of cold, well, people that haven't healed yet will view that as a challenge again and will be like, oh, well, maybe I just need to work harder. Maybe I just need to do this. Maybe I just need to do that. And Capricorn will eat that shit up, you know, because to them it's power. For them it's control. But you have so much to teach people, Capricorn. Like, the energy that you bring to the table, it's so beautiful. Your sense of self-discipline is so beautiful. So many people would do well to learn from you. And if you have, you know, if you have the right attitude and if you have a little more patience when it comes to other people, you can truly teach them so much about themselves and their inner power. You are literally the GOAT. All right, you guys, well, that was it for this list. What did you guys think? I thought it was really, really interesting. Obviously I feel like some of them were like lighter than others, like power to do whatever they want, power as in being powerful. Like, they were so much more like lighter and like more positive to talk about, rather than like control over people and control over situations and all of the above. But, you know, I think we all have a unique and different relationship with power and control. And I do think our birth chart shows a lot of that. So if you have any of these signs, I mean, all the signs are here. If you feel like any of this resonated with you, go ahead and comment it down below. I really want to know. I'm gonna post the socials over here. Give a follow if you want to connect anywhere else TikTok is my favorite right now, so follow on there if you want to follow anywhere. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you guys for the podcast. Bye, y'all.